Hi, everyone, and welcome to Life Changes for Life. Today's life changer went through a very traumatic experience in her life right after giving birth to her first son. But today she's a community leader and she does so much for the community. But what people don't know is her story. She doesn't share it too often, but she gave me the blessing of sharing it here on Life Changes for Life. She is a life changer, Julissa Rivera. Julissa, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Such a nice
I
intro.
am so excited because this is not something you do very often. And when you do it, it's so powerful. We met at, just to give everybody a note, we just met at an event. One of our friends was doing a grand opening of a spa, a health and wellness spa, actually. And I was, of course, sharing my story like I always do. And we ended up being connected. And then the whole night we were kind of talking. Finally, we had time to talk. And when you started sharing your story, I'm like, I guess I came here to listen to you. And out of everybody that I met, it was really your story. It was really powerful because, yes, I know that God did a miracle in my life, but there's things about your story that I would have never imagined. And I don't even know if it's something that I could even fathom. I mean, there's no way. So you give birth to your son, your first son, and then what happens?
So I gave birth to Alejandro at like 7:12 in the morning. By 9 p.m., I'm already doing a ultrasound because they said we have to go back into surgery. And I said, okay, for what? And he said, well, you have a blood clot and we can't just leave that there. So, being young, and I guess you don't have this sense of fear yet, right? You're just so free. I said,
Invincible.
yeah, right? I know. Um, and I said, fine. And when he went in there, he saw, you know, that the cancer was connected with my appendix and my colon. And he said, we need to remove this. He removed my appendix. We did second, third, fourth, fifth surgery to remove the rest because, part of my intestines were removed for safety and because, they were compromised. So that was gone as well. And then I just grew, bacteria that was eating my flesh. I had just so many things going wrong, right? I had to have a tube down my throat to pump out all the liquids because I started retaining liquids. I had a grenade. I had open wounds all the time. I have 13 incisions in my stomach because of it, and which I wear proudly, and because those are my battle scars.
The battle scars. I love it.
So I wear them proudly. And it was just a lot happening at the same time. And I just, and having a baby and trying to be a good mother, whatever that meant to me at that time, um, because I wanted to breastfeed. I wanted to be there, but physically I really couldn't move. It was just a lot of pain and trying to deal with the cancer, trying to deal with the medications, try to deal with the baby having also, a bacteria in his blood. He had to go through two blood transfusions
Wow.
because this bacteria was going to leave him either blind or not have any motor skills. So it
Wow.
was just not only praying for my life and trying to survive this, but also praying for my child because he was only a week old and already experiencing all this trauma, right?
Wow.
Um, so it was just a lot for those 5, 6 months. I went in February 12th, like I mentioned, and didn't leave till May, and my baby didn't leave till July.
Wow.
So it was a lot. I mean, I saw how my body changed. I saw how I mean, I think that this goes for all women, right? We'd always want to look perfect and beautiful, and just seeing how my body changed, and just seeing how my hair just began falling, even though I didn't go through the treatment because of the amount of drugs that I was taking in. The front part of my hair just completely fell off, and I just wanted to deal with it all, right? And I did, and I want to say it wasn't my strength; it was God's strength. There's no way that I could have done that on my own. Um, just didn't quit. I always say I am not a quitter. It's not in me.
Well, I want to, there was something about your story that you said that remind. Of course, there's some similarities in terms of attitude that we went in to battle for. You didn't know you had cancer. I knew I had cancer. There's a difference, of course, but there was something like, when you said to the doctors. Um, like my doctor said to me, you have like 3 days to live. We're gonna try something, and I'm just like, wait, hold on, I'm not dying. So, so it was kind of one of those things. And so, tell me how that was for you.
So he just walked in and said, Julissa, you have 3 months to live. And I just looked at him and I said, I'm not dying. I mean, I don't know who you think you're telling that she's dying, but I have a baby and my birthday is in August, right? Priorities.
Priorities, I love it.
It's in August. I'm going to be a mom. At that point, I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't understand it. I didn't want to understand it. And it was just not in me. I said, I don't know what you're going to do, but I believe in a God that is not about to let me die now. So let's figure it out.
Amen. So what was the diagnosis at the time? Like what were they telling you that?
It was colon cancer.
And did they try to remove all of it? Is that why they did so many surgeries?
They removed all of it. And they removed my appendix as well because it got inside of it. And it was just putting a lot of pressure, so it made it inflamed.
You see, yeah.
It got big, and then so they removed that and a portion of my intestines as well. Then behind my lungs or under my lungs, I don't remember clearly now, but there's a muscle under that, and that got infected. So they had to go back in and scrape that out and fix it. They thought I went into a sepsis, so we had to go back into surgery. And it was just surgery after surgery after surgery. And at one point, I was just so tired of the surgeries. I think it was surgery number 4 that I was already, tired. And I just said, get me out of this. I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to get out of this. And this needs to stop now. And, I want to say after my last surgery, a week after, because of course I have to go through observation, that everything was fine because I did have a tube down my throat, and I had a bacteria that was eating my incisions. And after a week, I left on my last surgery, and it was really hard to understand because everything happened so fast, and I really just didn't have a time to understand it. But I was just really grateful, and after that changed my life completely. And I was saying, earlier, how if God gave me a second chance, I wasn't going to take it for granted. I was going to use this second time to be remembered as a servant. And that's what I do. I serve.
Yes,
I serve
you do.
because God gave me a second chance at life. And he didn't have to save me, He could have just said, you're done, time's up.
Yeah.
But no, he saw something so special in me that he said, we're going to do this, get up. And I just held on to that hand and I ran. And after that, I've just been serving and really giving back the amount of love he showed me. And getting up, I never felt, I never share it. Not because of anything, I don't share it as much. I don't like people looking at me and feeling bad, or saying, "Oh, pobrecita,"
I get it. I know.
Because I'm not pobrecita.
No, you're not. No, and neither am I. We don't share it for that reason. But it's interesting because when I listen to her story, there's so many layers to this, but I'm only sharing a little bit with you guys today. And the biggest thing for me is, it's really interesting how my mom, was in the hospital for a year after she gave birth to me. And it was very difficult, for her to come back, but she did come back with a vengeance to live. And I listen to you and I'm thinking of Alejandro and I'm thinking of that. I mean, I can't even imagine, right? So for me, it's like, wow, it's just crazy. But then you go through all this stuff, and then after all that, you have another son, right?
Yes, I have another son, even though the doctor said, you can't. Being the rebel I am, right? I have another son, and, and because of all the trauma your body goes through in this process, of course, it's not an easy process. During that pregnancy, I had small heart attacks, like mini strokes. So I would lose my vision. Half of my body would go to sleep, and I couldn't see, and I couldn't move. My heart was really weak, so I couldn't have a natural birth. But I still went through it. I still pushed through. I had both babies. They're now fine. Thank God Alejandro is, as healthy as he can be. Thank God. And I just, and I think it just gave me more of a reason to fight for my life. Seeing Alejandro fight for his, because I remember just going in there and saying, baby, mommy is here. I'm not quitting. I'm here. And I remember I had to go see him wearing all these astronauts
Oh my
gear
God.
to be able to hold him because of both, right? Him with his infection and me with what I was going through. And I just said, we're going to get through this together. You hold on because mommy is fighting for both of us.
Wow.
And, and we did. And we did. And we're here. And I have Aaron, who is also with him, they said, I don't know how you're going to finish this, right? Your heart is weak. You have all this stuff. What are you doing pregnant? And said, this is God's blessing. So we're going to finish it.
Wow.
So it's been great.
So you have 2 kids. How old are they now?
7 and 5. Alejandro is 7. Aaron is 5.
And they're both healthy.
Thank God, yes.
And your health has been, knock on wood, is perfect. So you go through this experience. I made a promise. I said, God, heal me and I'll tell your story. And you basically said, okay, God, use me. I'll be a servant. So we kind of have a will to live, like we have a purpose. So now all of a sudden you go into servant mode. But right now, during what we're going through, you're literally working nonstop. Tell me about this charity that you're working with right now.
So I'm working for multiple, but the one that I've been mostly active is Act 2, and it's a veteran-led nonprofit, and we assist communities in distress, mostly after disaster reliefs. But this pandemic has taken over, right, everybody's life. And because I'm part of Leadership Miami with the Greater Chamber of Miami, I have been able to be part of all their community work. And along with Act 2, the nonprofit I sit on as their community engagement manager, we have been able to design masks. So we have donated masks to the community that has no access to it.
Correct.
So to organizations that, work with shelters, with women who are battered, with homeless community. I also partnered up with Love Hope Music, which is another great organization. And what they do with music, they bring light to local and social causes. So I started working with them to bring light to, what they're doing and so on. So I started helping them as well. And what we do there with the musicians, the music that was canceled because of this, and the small businesses. So we partnered up and we have been collaborating. So I've been on the ground with these organizations since day one. And it's just been great. It's been great to be able to help and be in a position to serve, because all of this is free.
Well,
this is my time.
So here's my thought process. You're a cancer survivor. So in case of, if anyone didn't know, of being around sickness, that's not what we are. We're the ones that are not supposed to be around people.
Yes.
And you have 2 kids at home, but yet you made a decision to go in the community and serve.
Yes.
So, and I want to make sure I make that point clear to everybody that's listening. So cancer survivor, 2 kids. She's doing fine health-wise, but then she makes a decision, I'm going to go help the community and give out masks to everyone. Homeless shelters, people that are domestic violence, you mentioned, all these amazing things. Why do you have that will to do that?
Because God gave me a second chance on life. And I don't want to take it for granted. And because there's people out there, I was blessed with life. And there's people out there that needs us, that need us, that really don't have anything. And I have all this love that God gave me to give back. So, you know, I don't even think about it. I don't, I, you ask me why don't you, do something from home and help them? But I can't. I simply can't, I just have to, it's this thing that I have inside that I can't explain, that's bigger than me. My sense of service is beyond me. It's something that I just can't help it, right? If I have the means and I know the people and I know where to get you and I know what to do, then I will do it. I would do it because somebody did it for me. I was in a bed ready to die, and God said, no, you're getting up. We're going to fight this. You're going to get up, and we're going to go through this. And I remember one of those days that I was completely out. My grandma, if anybody has a Hispanic grandma, they're going to relate. I remember her walking in, and she said, I'm going to translate, and she said, tell your mom to do your hair because you look horrible. And then after she does that, you're going to get up from there. And I don't want to hear anything else because we are made of steel. The women of this house are made of steel. So do your hair and get up. And I'm not going to tell you again. And she left. And and those words have never left me. So I always do my hair.
Amen.
and I always get up and go for it. And because I have to give, because someone gave me. And why not? Why not? People need us, and if you have a way to help, do it. Nothing would ever be missing in your life.
There's not a lot of people in my life that I've met that I think can relate to what I went through. And a lot of people will say, oh, I know how that feels. No, you don't. But I will tell you this, I always respect everyone that wants to and has empathy and has feelings and cares about me. But there's not a lot of people that I've met. And Julissa is one of those people that I said she could relate. She went through a period where it's like you're almost at your death door and you decide, I'm not gone. But here's the other part. There's a lot of people that don't understand why I live my life the way I do. But Julissa probably does. Because she's out there giving back and doing for others what a lot of them can't do for themselves. And yet she went through cancer and through hormonal things after giving birth and all these amazing surgeries that for some reason she's able to still stand after all that. She's still giving back. So I know that Julissa has a huge purpose like I do. And that is why for me it's very important that I want to continue to share her story any way I can. Julissa, there's always, I ask this of every guest in my show, to give me one word that defines you or defines the season of your life or define that season of your life that you can share with us to give people hope right now that are hopeless, that maybe they can't stand just like you're standing. Because when you are giving another life, we are living a bonus life. I've always said I'm living a bonus life. And I'm going to live that life to the fullest until God calls me home. And I really believe that you're probably one of the only people that can relate to what I feel on a daily basis when I get out of bed. So tell me one word that you can share with us and the meaning of it, so maybe somebody can get up today. Because a lot of people are anxious, depressed, and stressed. What's one word you can share with us to give us hope?
I don't know if it's going to give hope, but I'll tell you what. My word is commitment.
Commitment.
My word is commitment. I'm committed 100% to anything I give my word to. And I gave my word to God to serve. And that's what I've done. So when you find that something, you have to be committed to it and give your 100% to whatever it is. And, sometimes our mind plays games with us and tries to tell you otherwise, and you feel down. And listen, during this whole shutdown, one of the things that kept me moving was the fact that I was able to be out there serving, because I can't be locked in. I couldn't handle it, but I was committed. I was committed to my purpose. I was committed to my passion. I was committed to my dream, right? Because my dream is to make a positive impact however way I can, whatever that means. If my positive impact means that I'm buying water for someone, or that I'm cleaning your shoes, or that I'm going to your house, getting your laundry and doing it for you, that's my commitment to serving. So find that passion, stay committed to it, and just be willing. Anybody can say a million things, right? But that willing heart and that committed heart is the heart that gets to the other side. And if you need help, you call me and we'll cross that together. And because I am committed to you, and I am committed to your heart, and my heart goes out to you at all times. So commitment.
Commitment. Well, today was a day that I was really looking forward to today because of this interview. Because there's not a lot of people that I've met, like I said, that I can relate to. There's not a lot of people that have gone up from cancer, especially colon cancer, and gone up. Surgery after surgery, giving birth to a child. I can't even imagine just giving birth is enough for your body to go through a trauma and to have to go through surgery after surgery. There is nothing that I can ever say to Julissa to say, I can relate. I can't. But something about our story really does bring us together. And something about her commitment really is something that it makes me think about, because I made a promise on August 25th, 2006. I was 124 pounds and I made a promise and I said, God, you heal me and I'll tell your story. And to this day, I've kept that promise. So I believe when I listen to Julissa talk about commitment, it brings that right back to me. I made a commitment over a decade ago, and I've kept it. And through that commitment, I've been able to meet so many amazing people like Julissa. I've been able to share my story probably to millions of people already. And I am committed to continue to serve others, be a blessing to others, and always continue to share my story. I hope that all of you that are listening to this understand that when you make a commitment, you make a promise, you keep it. In case of Julissa and myself, we made a commitment and a promise because God gave us our life. But every day we take our life for granted. I hope you don't do that starting today. Don't take your health for granted. Don't take your life for granted. And certainly don't take your dreams for granted. Your dreams will lead you to your purpose, and your story will reveal your purpose. So I hope that today you realize there's a lot of people that have a story, but if you don't share it, you will never be able to touch somebody else or be a blessing. Don't discount your story. I hope that I get a chance to tell Julissa's story in full one day. This is just a piece of it. But I pray that today, this story helps you to find hope, have faith, and to live every day with purpose. I want to thank Julissa Rivera for being here today, for sharing a little bit of her story, and for continuing to serve the community with a commitment that she will never stop. Thank you, Julissa. May God bless you and your family and your two boys. And until next time, may God bless you.